Yeah, just we have a few questions, brief questions, just who you are, what's your film project about,
Yeah,
and what you're working on next. Just get the idea of who you are and what to look forward to. So I'm gonna do a
awesome.
quick introduction and then we'll get started. All right, so 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, we're back at another event at Film Night. And we know I promised you guys a lot of Q&As. You'll see me in person, but we had to be grace for one more Q&A for this August. And we here with our the one and only Casey. Okay,
Hello.
Casey, so you tell us about yourself and tell us what your project is about.
Yeah, so I am a animation filmmaker. I work in mostly 3D animation and video games. I focus a lot on character design, which is something that like I highlighted in the film that you guys saw, Reload. It was my senior thesis film, so I've been working on some stuff since then. I've been doing a lot of video game work, doing some like personal projects, and I'm also a freelance artist for CBS News.
Wow, you have a
Yeah,
pretty good resume. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
You caught my attention with the video game stuff because I'm a big video gamer myself. I'm like literally been playing Metal Gear, like Solid Delta. So that's been like a big hype. So I noticed a lot of like the influence of different kind of art styles. Like I see like it looks like you guys use a little Unreal Engine and Blender. So we want to tell some of the inspiration and some of the influences that you had when making your film.
Yeah, so it was mainly inspired by like two, like the styles of two different things combined. Like visually, very much like arcane, like Spider-Verse texture styles. Like I use Maya and Substance Painter to make the whole thing. And so I would make the model in Maya and then I would go into Substance Painter and kind of just like hand paint over everything. So kind
Wow.
of just like if it was like a sculpture in real life, just like digitally painted. I really wanted to like have the like textures feel very like painterly and not too like realistic. And
Right.
also the other like inspiration, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my favorite game of all time. And there's no dialogue in the film, but the main character's name is Clive, and it's like a
Ah,
combination of oh, where's I going with this? Oh, it's like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly films, Clint Eastwood combined with another character from a video game, Joel. So I was like Clint, Joel, Clive, like mashed together.
that's
Um,
really
yeah, but like the like character styles of like Joel from The Last of Us and like Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption, and then like Clint Eastwood from like all of his Western movies that he's been in.
yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up because like I've seen a lot of influence, definitely the spaghetti western kind of style of the desert landscape with just a few settings and aesthetic was definitely play a part. I didn't notice the whole like Last of Us reference with Joel. That's really cool. I guess my next question would be is that how did you take all the different elements from both movies, video game, and pop culture and come together to make it into like a very like powerful like Western piece?
Yeah, I think like with all my films, I always start with music being kind of like the main inspiration. And so like this was my senior thesis film, and we had to like come up with the idea, and we worked on it for about like a year and a half, just like doing iterations of it over and over again. And I didn't know what I was gonna do until like 1 week before we were supposed to start it. And I listened to a Johnny Cash song. Called like There Ain't No Grave, and it just like made me think of like, oh, a robot coming back to life. And so like that song kind of inspired it all. And then it got me watching like all of the Clint Eastwood movies, and like I've played Red Dead 2 for like so long, and I've always been so into westerns, but I've never made something like that before. So I was like, okay, I love all these different things, let's mash them all into one and see how it goes. And it took a lot of different iterations, but we got there.
Wow, that's really cool. So what what's something that you want people to or what something that's from the film that you shot it or done or where you're drawing or sketching it that you made look like the frame that sticks out to be like, okay, this is the shot. Like this is
Mm.
something that stood out to me. That this is what the thesis of my film to be about.
I think, ooh, that's a good question. There's like, there's like two shots. There's one at the very end, which I like post like all of the screenshots of it as like the kind of like the poster of the film. It's where like the final one where like the robot's looking back over his shoulder. Because my favorite movie of all time is Rango, and it's kind of like a shot stolen from Rango where he's like looking over his shoulder. Because I just think it's so like it's so clean and just exemplifies like everything in a Western of like solo protagonist, like going off doing what he needs to do, and like
You
cowboy
pulled me
hat.
back with Rango for a second.
Yeah,
Wow, like that was a great movie. Wow, you have to take the animation.
yeah, great movie. Crazy that it's a Nickelodeon movie too. That always
Right,
shocks me. Yeah.
great.
And
I know
then
it's
the
like
one shot I have in the middle of after the one guy like kills the other guy and he's like just holding the gun. I spent so long animating that shot just because I wanted the emotion to look perfect. And I like if I didn't I feel like if I didn't spend so long on it, it would have kind of fell flat. So like that shot just like means so much to me in itself.
awesome. So I would have to follow up with that. So now
Mhm.
that you have the film done and it's out there, what do you want the film night audience and other audiences to get from your work or get from this film? It doesn't say a lot, but it does
Yeah.
say a lot visually. That's why I was wondering what.
Yeah, I think just like watching more films and like thinking about like stories and characters and how they can say so much like without dialogue. Because I think like the whole time I was I did so many iterations of it just because it was so hard. It's so hard to tell a story without dialogue. And I think there's so much like nuances and like color and in like just character acting and in things like that. And like while watching all of my other students or like my other classmates films like while making this, it made me think about like how much work they were putting into it and like how the like little pieces of the story they were trying to tell and how there's like so many different pieces that go into a film and like each one of them is kind of like their own little work of art. And so like I've been like looking at that more now in other films, and I think like maybe people can notice that in my film and like notice it in more films that they watch in the future.
Very well said. It's a very beautiful thing to strive for. That's really cool. So, what are you working on now, Miss Casey?
Right now I've been doing some texture painting and texture art for a company called Serious Point Games. I've been doing an internship for them, and they have a new game coming out. So go check out their stuff. And then in the meantime, I've just been kind of like working on like my own digital art, kind of like solo projects, trying to get back more into film and kind of create a new film project. I wrote a feature length screenplay a while ago that I'm like kind of in the works of trying to do something with soon,
Ooh,
hopefully.
sounds like you're staying busy. The game
Definitely.
design and you're doing some film work. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Like nice to see some artists double dipping and also expanding their creativity outward. So how can we keep track of your game design adventures and your artwork in film? Like, do you have an
Yes.
Instagram?
Yeah, I do. I'm lampo.art on all my socials. Or just like lampo art, one word. It's LAMPOART art.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, you heard it here, folks. Go check out Pacey's movie at film night tomorrow. We'll be here. Be square. Thank you guys very much. You want to have a last piece out to the audience, Miss Casey?
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
All right.
Bye.
You were great. Hold on. I'm about to clear us right now.